Everybody says 9Router gives you unlimited free AI coding forever. I spent weeks digging through the code, the security advisories, and the community reports to see if that actually holds up. 9Router claims to route your requests across 60 plus AI providers and keep you coding past every rate limit for free. What I wanted to know is whether that promise survives contact with your actual accounts. One of the biggest problems I run into when using AI agents is turning their output into YouTube content I can actually use to market my product. That's why this video is sponsored by Subscriber, a tool that helps business owners connect their AI agents to YouTube and market their products without spending 10 hours every week creating content. You can connect Claude or ChatGPT directly to Subscriber. It then analyzes your business, website, and YouTube channel to help you create SEO-optimized video ideas, scripts, thumbnails, and even complete videos that actually match your brand. What I like most is that every week, Subscriber gives me a list of high-potential video ideas I can immediately execute, and it can even help edit videos for me, with or without my face, including videos like the one you're watching right now. It's easy to get started, and you can try Subscriber for free using the link in the description below. Now back to the video. Claim 1. Unlimited free AI coding. The moment a provider caps you mid-session, your whole workflow stalls and you're staring at a rate limit error at the worst possible time. 9Router says a 3-tier auto fallback across 60 plus providers means that never happens. So let's see if the pool is actually that big. I went through vendor docs, community write-ups, and independent blogs, and the provider pool is real. Multiple sources confirm 40 plus providers and 100 plus models, with the 3-tier fallback routing subscription to cheap to free automatically. The catch, which you'll see on screen, is that unlimited is conditional. It works until providers crack down on the OAuth or reuse that makes it possible. This charge gets dismissed. The provider pool and the fallback system are genuinely there, and that's one of claims holding up so far. If you're building on top of this, though, know that the free ride depends on providers not noticing the OAuth reuse, which is a real and documented risk. I know this stuff because I've been living inside these tools long enough to hit every edge case before you do. Drop a comment below if a rate limit has ever killed a session on you mid-build. Claim 2. Token reduction via RTK. The number 9Router puts on the box is 40% fewer input tokens on every request. If you're sending large file trees and get diffs back and forth all day, that's a real cost difference and a real speed difference. So the question is whether the compression is actually lossless or whether you're trading accuracy for savings. I ran through the RTK token saver evidence, and the compression on a GIOT diffs, grep outputs, and file trees is confirmed lossless across multiple sources, saving 20 to 40% on input tokens per request. Watch the scorecard. 40% is the top of the range, not a guaranteed average, and the caveman mode claim of 65% output savings is vendor only with zero independent verification. Charge dismissed again. The RTK savings are real, directionally right, and multiple sources agree, so that's 2 of 2 claims holding up. The caveman mode output claim is a different story, and you should treat it as unconfirmed until someone outside the vendor verifies it. Claim 3. Security by design. 6 critical SAV5s is the number that stopped me cold. That's a security audit finding that TLS verification is turned off and credentials are stored carelessly, which means anything sitting between you and the proxy can read your API keys. The question is whether the local-only architecture saves it. I went through the security advisories and the numbers are bad. 13 public advisories total, 6 rated critical, published between May and July 2026. TLS verification is off, credentials are stored carelessly, and CVE 2026-49353 lets a local-only gate get bypassed via host header spoofing behind a reverse proxy. The one honest bright spot on screen is that API keys stay local, unless you explicitly turn on Cloud Sync or VPS. This charge sticks hard. The security posture fails on TLS and credential storage, and that's 2 of 3 claims holding up overall. If you rely on your Claude or OpenAI account for paid work, 6 critical CVEs is a deal breaker. So the security charge stuck, but there are still 2 claims left, and the OAuth compliance question is the one that could actually get your Anthropic account frozen. We also haven't touched reliability yet. And that's where 9Router's predecessor, 9Proxy, completely fell apart, which could change how you feel about everything we've seen so far. Claim 4, OAuth credential routing. You wake up one morning and your Claude account is suspended because a tool running in the background was reusing your OAuth token in ways Anthropic didn't authorize. Community reports say that's exactly what's on the table with 9Router's MITM bridge, so let's look at what the evidence actually says. Here's what I found when I dug into this. OAuth tokens for Claude Code, Codex, and Gemini CLI are supported and auto-refresh, so the technical side works. But the MITM bridge intercepts IDE traffic to reuse subscriptions, and both community sources and press independently flag that reusing Claude Auth credentials for other tools conflicts with Anthropic's terms of service, which puts real account action on the table. This charge sticks too. The auth routing works technically, but breaks service terms, and that drops us to 2 of 4 claims holding up. If you're on a throwaway account, you might be fine, but routing your primary Claude subscription through a proxy that intercepts IDE traffic is a calculated risk. Claim 5, uptime and reliability. 9Proxy just collapsed and left users stranded mid-project with no warning, so the question for 9Router is whether the development activity is real and sustained, or whether you're one abandoned repo away from the same situation. 24600 GitHub stars is the number on screen, and that's where we start. I didn't expect the GitHub numbers to be this strong. 24600 stars, 4300 forks, and only 20 commits show active, sustained development, not a weekend project. Multiple independent blogs confirm the 3-tier fallback keeps sessions alive without drops when a provider hits capacity. The honest caveat is that the project is still young, so long-term staying power isn't proven the way a 2-year-old tool would be. Charge dismissed, the development activity is real and the fallback reliability is community confirmed. So that's 3 of 5 claims holding up. And that's your final tally. 9Router delivers on 3 charges and falls short on 2, with the 2 that failed being the ones that can cost you your account. Alright, so where does 9Router genuinely shine? The provider pool is real, 60 plus providers or 100 plus models, and a 3-tier fallback that keeps sessions alive past individual rate limits. RTK losslessly compresses guide diffs and file trees, cutting input tokens by 20 to 40% on every request. And with 2600 GitHub stars and 1020 commits, it's actively maintained, which is a stark contrast to 9Proxy. Now, where does 9Router fall short? 13 public security advisories, 6 rated critical, with TLS verification turned off and credentials stored carelessly. Reusing Claude OAuth credentials through the MITM bridge conflicts with Anthropic's terms and carries real account suspension risk. And the unlimited promise is conditional. It works until providers crack down on the OAuth reuse that makes it possible. Use 9Router if you're on a throwaway account and free coding is worth the risk. Skip it if your Claude or OpenAI account matters for your actual work. 3 of 5 claims hold up, but the 2 that fail are the ones that can get you banned. Something the marketing doesn't mention. CVE 2026-49353 specifically allows a local-only gate bypass via host header spoofing, when 9Router sits behind a reverse proxy, which is exactly how most people run it in a home lab or VPS setup. So the ED's local only, so you're safe framing breaks down the moment you put a proxy in front of it. If you're trying to figure out which underlying model is actually worth paying for now that you know how routing tools like this work, I just published a full breakdown called Claude Opus 4.8, Still Worth Using? And it answers exactly that question with real numbers, so go check that one out next.